Heartwarming encounter. Poor girl helps elderly woman cross, unveiling her incredible billionaire past. 15-year-old Lily darted through the bustling streets, her heart pounding with ambition. The city thrummed with life, bright neon lights, lively chatter, and the sizzling aroma of street food mixed with the fresh-cut grass from the nearby park. She was a whirlwind of energy, juggling school with a part-time job at a local diner, all to support her single mother who worked herself to the bone. Despite the challenges mounting around them, hope sparkled in Lily's eyes, a vivid reminder of the American dream. On this vibrant afternoon, amid honking cars and the rush of foot traffic, her gaze landed on an elderly woman teetering at the edge of the intersection. Mrs. Thompson looked fragile, her shaking hands gripped tightly around a fraying handbag. Without pausing to think, Lily rushed forward. "Let me help you," she exclaimed, catching the woman's arm. Their eyes met Lily's bright with determination, Mrs. Thompson's reflecting years of stories untold. As they crossed the street, Mrs. Thompson began sharing tidbits from her past, her laughter ringing out like wind chimes as she recounted childhood mischief and wild dreams turned to reality. Lily soaked in every word, amazed by the resilience emanating from this seemingly frail woman. Little did she know that Mrs. Thompson was not just any elderly woman, she was a retired billionaire philanthropist who had dedicated her life to uplift the community around her. Yet, she now felt the weight of solitude and disillusionment creeping in. The world promptly shifted for Lily when she received heart-wrenching news about her mother's health. That evening, sitting on her cot, she felt as if the air had thickened. The thought of losing her only family wrapped around her heart like a vice. Just then, Mrs. Thompson appeared like a guardian angel, offering help with medical expenses. But pride surged within Lily. How could she accept charity? The warmth of their budding friendship flickered as she declined the offer, clinging to the belief that hard work and resilience were what defined her. And then came the storm. Watching her mother decline, Lily felt desperation cloud her spirit. Days blurred into sleepless nights until Mrs. Thompson organized a surprise community rally, a gathering meant to showcase the strength and support of their neighborhood. Music thumped, laughter spilled into the air, and the scent of home-cooked meals wafted around them. Yet, as joy surrounded her, that familiar tension brewed inside Lily, the struggle between accepting help and holding tight to her pride. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the rally lifted spirits high, Lily stood along the sidelines, observing the connection forming around her. In a moment that sent chills down her spine, Mrs. Thompson publicly acknowledged Lily's unfaltering strength. The applause rippled through the crowd, and yet, that moment of honor triggered discomfort, sparking whispers about wealth and worthiness. The dilemma of community support wrestled with their individual identities, leaving both women reevaluating their lives. Caught in the eye of this emotional storm, Lily and Mrs. Thompson stood at the crossroads. Would Lily learn to embrace the strength that came from community support, and how would that alter their paths moving forward? The essence of resilience, family, and heartwarming connection hung in the air, poised for a transformation. What would they choose next? The celebration surged around them, the joyful shouts blending into a vibrant tapestry of laughter and music. Yet, Lily felt detached, as if she were a spectator in her own life. The warmth of the community embraced her, but the conflict in her heart grew heavier. Accepting help felt like abandoning her values, freeing her from the mountain of responsibilities she bore. Just as thoughts began flooding her mind, Mrs. Thompson drew near, a knowing look in her eyes. "Oh, Lily," she began, her voice soft yet steady. "I see the struggle written all over your face. It's okay to lean on others. That's what community is for." Lily's chest tightened. But I don't want to be a burden, she whispered, her voice trembling. My mom always taught me to stand on my own 2 feet. Mrs. Thompson nodded slowly, the lines in her face deepening with compassion. Your mom taught you strength, true. But she also imparted the wisdom that there's strength in accepting help when it's offered. It doesn't lessen your value or ability. It enhances the bonds we share. The words struck a chord deep within Lily. The flickering of possibility danced in her heart, yet insecurity anchored her. She scanned the crowd, those familiar faces weaving a sense of belonging into her heart, but fear held her back. What if they learned the truth about her struggles? What if they saw her vulnerability as weakness? Feeling the pull of Mrs. Thompson's gentle presence, Lily took a breath, attempting to swallow her pride. What if I need help? Then you reach out, my dear, Mrs. Thompson replied, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. And you'll be surprised at how many will step forward willingly. You might even find that doing so inspires others to do the same. We all have burdens to bear. The words settled in tentatively around Lily, like the soft whisper of wind through branches. She wondered if it was true. Had she really held herself in a prison of pride? As the event continued, a sense of hope began to blossom within Lily. Perhaps it wouldn't be such a weakness to share her pain and ask for support. The muted sounds of festivity gradually transformed into a comforting backdrop, one she could perhaps ease herself into. But then her mother's face surfaced in her mind, the frail figure she struggled to care for. It hit her like a wave. She couldn't just let her pride stand in the way of her mom's well-being. The tears welled uncontrollably in her eyes. It wasn't just about her anymore. Suddenly, Mrs. Thompson placed her hands on either side of Lily's face. No more tears, my dear. You're not alone. Together, we can face this. In that simple act, with that warm gaze meeting her own, Lily felt the world shift. It was time for a new chapter. It was time to be vulnerable. Okay, she finally whispered, heart racing. I'll try. The rally certainly enveloped them with joy, yet Lily discovered a new battle was just beginning within her heart. She could sense it. The air was electric with unspoken changes. As the evening progressed and fireworks illuminated the sky, Lily found Mrs. Thompson's gaze fixed on her, the crowd still celebrating the night. Are you ready to share your story? She asked, a subtle challenge lingering in the air. The questions swirled around them. What would happen next? Would Lily embrace the strength of the community? A wave of uncertainty washed over her, but that flicker of hope ignited something deep inside. I think it's time, she replied, sensing the dawn of transformation on the horizon. But deep within, a bubbling fear stirred. What would happen when the truth was finally unveiled? The fireworks popped overhead, cascading bursts of color across the darkening sky. Each explosion lit up Lily's face, reflecting a mixture of anxiety and anticipation. Mrs. Thompson's question hung in the air, challenging her to step forward. The lively chatter around them faded, leaving only the sound of her accelerated heartbeat. Taking a deep breath, she glanced around at the people celebrating. Some friends were laughing, others were dancing beneath the streamers, but all Lily could think about was what lay ahead. What would she say? How could she bare her soul when she had spent so long hiding behind a wall of pride? Just speak from your heart, Mrs. Thompson encouraged, her voice gentle but firm. Remember, vulnerability is not weakness, it's a bridge to connection. Lily nodded slowly, trying to absorb the wisdom in those words. She gripped her palms together, smoothing the fabric of her dress, a semblance of grounding. Would anyone really care? Would her struggles resonate with them, or would she simply expose herself to judgment? With a slight tremor in her voice, she finally stood a little taller and declared, I want to share something. The initial sentence came out softer than she intended, but it was enough to draw a few curious glances. Lily felt like the spotlight had shifted to her, the warmth of the community surrounding her being both reassuring and terrifying. What do you want to share? Someone from the crowd called out, prompting a swell of attention. Taking another deep breath, Lily's thoughts raced. It was now or never. I've been going through a lot. My mom has been sick, and it's been overwhelming. Her voice quavered, but she steadied herself. I've felt like I should handle everything alone. I thought asking for help would make me weak. A hush fell over the crowd. For a moment, she feared she had lost their interest. But then, she saw Mrs. Thompson nodding encouragingly, her eyes glistening with tears that echoed Lily's own. But I realized, Lily continued, that admitting I need help does not diminish my strength. It's the people around us, our community, who lift us up when we can't stand alone. The words flowed more freely now, pouring from her heart like a waterfall. I don't want anyone else in this room to feel they have to fight their battles alone. We all have our burdens, and that's what makes us human. The energy in the air shifted. The spirit of vulnerability seemed to crack open something in the crowd. She caught glimpses of nods and soft murmurs of encouragement as more people began to gather around, leaning in. Lily's gaze moved across familiar faces, and a sense of solidarity washed over her. She was not as alone as she once thought. As she concluded, "Let us hold each other up," the applause erupted like the fireworks above, wild and liberating. In that moment, a wave of relief flooded through her. The pressure that had weighed her down for so long loosened, replaced by warmth and connection. But amid the cheers, a deeper sense of purpose stirred inside her. If she could cultivate that support for her mother, perhaps there were others who would step up, too. After the crowd settled down, a woman stepped forward. The excited energy shifted as they turned toward her. "Lily," she said, her voice steady yet kind. "You're so brave for sharing that. I've been struggling myself. Would you like to talk about it more?" Lily's heart raced again, the fire of connection had been ignited. She realized that Mrs. Thompson had been right. There was strength in reaching out and sharing. Still, uncertainty lingered over her heart like a dark cloud. What were the limits of this newfound relationship? How deep did these connections really run? Just then, another face emerged from the crowd, and a familiar warmth enveloped her. It was her mom, glancing over with a look of pure pride and love. Suddenly, the truth of her mother's condition rushed back into focus. What would happen next? Would this bond, this community support, be enough to carry them through the hardest times ahead? Lily felt her heart stutter, the sight of her mother cutting through the haze of anxiety swirling in her mind. There was her mom, weak yet standing tall among the crowd, the vibrant colors of fireworks reflecting in her eyes. The love in that single look ignited something deep within Lily, pushing her to step forward again. "Mom," she called out, her voice rising over the fading applause. The crowd parted, granting her a clear path. As she approached, her mom's smile brightened, erasing the weariness etched on her face. "You did so well, Lily," her mother said, wrapping her arms around her, holding her tight. For a moment, all the fear and uncertainty melted away into the warmth of that embrace. "I can't believe how many people were there," Lily whispered, her voice muffled against her mom's shoulder. "They needed to hear you," her mother replied gently, pulling back to look into Lily's eyes. "You're not alone in this. You have so much love around you." As they stood there, the energy from the gathering flowed around them like an embrace. Lily noticed a few people lingering, sharing looks of understanding. The woman who had spoken earlier was now joined by a man, his face familiar. It was Mr. Jensen, a neighbor from a few houses down. "Hey there, I just wanted to say you were incredible, Lily," he chimed in, his deep voice cutting through the festive noise. "Your words really reached me. I've struggled with my own feelings of inadequacy lately." Lily's heart swelled as more people chimed in, sharing their own stories of struggle and triumph. She felt a kinship forming, a bond that was stronger than any she'd felt before. Each story added a layer of support, turning what had felt like an insurmountable wall into something they could face together. "I always thought I had to put on a brave face, you know?" Another voice piped in, a friend from school. "But you've shown me it's okay to be vulnerable. It's how we really connect." Their words filled her with hope. She realized her vulnerability had opened a door for others, inviting them to speak openly. It was liberating to feel the weight shared across their shoulders. As the conversations cascaded, Lily caught sight of Mrs. Thompson, who was standing a short distance away. The older woman's face was streaked with tears, but there was a smile, too. "See what you've started, dear?" she called out, her voice full of pride. "This is just the beginning." Lily felt a rush of ambition flood through her. This could be a movement, they could build something meaningful together. Maybe a support group? She shook her head, the thought too big to grasp fully. But for the first time, the idea didn't frighten her. Then the fireworks exploded once again, filling the sky with brilliant colors. The crowd gasped, gasping at the spectacular display. This time, the light painted the faces of families and friends, hearts illuminating alongside the bursts of color. "Let us celebrate every step we take, no matter how small," Lily suggested, her enthusiasm catching on. The crowd cheered, voices blending harmoniously with the night air. But amidst the excitement, a twinge of anxiety crept back. Lily's gaze drifted to her mother, whose smile was still radiant but edged with concern. What if the support faded when the fireworks dimmed? What if she made promises she couldn't keep? How could they ensure this bond wasn't just ephemeral? As the sparks fizzled out overhead, igniting the sky in twinkles, a firm resolve settled over her. "I want to keep this connection alive," Lily murmured, almost to herself, as the crowd began to dissipate. Moments later, her mother put a gentle hand on her shoulder and said, "I'll help you with that. Together, we can do anything." Lily looked into her mother's eyes, a rush of love swelling in her chest. But as warmth filled her heart, another feeling crept in, fear of the unknown. What would happen when they faced reality again? How would they navigate the challenges ahead? With those questions lingering in her mind, the night suddenly felt both thrilling and daunting. She knew this fire of connection needed feeding, and deep down, she understood that it all began with her. As the last firework faded into the night, leaving behind only the faint smell of smoke, Lily felt an electric shift in the atmosphere. The crowd slowly dispersed, laughter and chatter fading into the background. Yet, she stood rooted to the spot, her heart still racing. "Let us take a walk," her mother said, gently nudging Lily forward. They meandered through the remnants of the celebration, the scattered paper plates and remnants of balloons, echoing the energy of the night. "Mom, do you really think we can keep this going?" Lily asked, her brow furrowed with doubt. What if it all just fades away? What if no one comes back next time? Her mother stopped, turning to face her fully. "We can build something, Lily. It starts with the foundations we make today, these connections. But it takes time and dedication. We'll work at it together." Lily looked around, spotting familiar faces packing away chairs and tidying up. She recognized the spark of hope in their eyes mirrored her own. Yet a cloud of uncertainty settled over her. But what if I fail? What if I can't be the leader they need? "Everyone is afraid of failure, sweetie," her mom reassured her, kneeling down to meet her at eye level. "Leading means being brave enough to take risks, even when you're scared. You've already inspired so many tonight. Remember, strength comes from being genuine and open, just like you were. Let that be your guide." Lily nodded, though the shadow of apprehension didn't entirely leave her. The night seemed to pulsate around her, with the distant hum of people reminiscing about her speech, and the thought filled her with warmth and dread at once. That connection was there, but its future remained uncertain. "You know, Lily," her mother began, her tone taking on a more thoughtful edge. "I've always seen something special in you, an ability to touch hearts. Just look at how people responded. It's your authenticity that shines through." As they walked, Lily felt her spirits lift just a little. It was true, she had felt alive out there on that stage. Each story shared had felt like a bridge, something to hold on to. But could she really be that force consistently? Suddenly, a spark of an idea flared. What if we organized regular meetups? Not just to talk, but also to do activities together, like art or volunteering? Something to keep the momentum going? Her mother's eyes lit up. That's brilliant, Lily. Engaging in activities can strengthen bonds and provide a platform for support. We can reach out to the community, ask for volunteers. Start with what you know: cooking, arts, anything. You just need to take that first step. Excitement bubbled within her. This was a tangible plan, something they could gather around. Yet doubt still lingered. How on earth would they spread the word? How would they convince others to join this fledgling support system? Let's make a list of everyone who came out tonight, her mother suggested. We can send them all a message. And remember, it's okay to start small. Every little connection matters. As they made their way back through the park, the stars above seemed to twinkle with encouragement. Her heart began to slow as she envisioned the possibilities, the laughter, the sharing, the community growing stronger together. But then a nagging thought pulled at her heart: what if people didn't care? What if they weren't interested? Finally, they reached the car, parked in the soft glow of the streetlights. Her mom turned to her, cupping Lily's face in her hands. You've got this, my love. You're not alone in this journey. No matter the outcome, you'll never stop being you. That's what matters most. With a sigh, Lily took in her mother's unwavering confidence, grounding her. But the weight of the unknown loomed larger than ever. How could she navigate this uncharted territory ahead of her? As they climbed into the car, a cozy silence enveloped them. Excitement mixed with fear danced in her chest, swirling like the vibrant fireworks that just moments ago lit up the night sky. With plans forming and hope igniting, she turned to her mother, a mix of trepidation and exhilaration in her voice. What if this leads to something bigger than I can imagine? Her mother smiled knowingly, the glimmer in her eyes revealing her own belief. Then let's find out together. But deep inside, low apprehension flickered, a question that would lead her to an unexpected twist. What challenges lay ahead to test their resolve? The next morning dawned with a soft golden light filtering through the window, gently nudging Lily awake. The events of the previous night danced around in her mind, a kaleidoscope of hope and uncertainty. Yet, despite a heavy heart, she couldn't shake the spark ignited by her mother's faith in her. Today held potential. She could feel it in her bones. After a quick breakfast, Lily grabbed her notebook and a pen. She opened to a blank page and wrote community ideas across the top. Each letter felt heavy with promise. It was time to put her thoughts into action. Lily scribbled down ideas for events they could host: game nights, crafting afternoons, book discussions. Each suggestion brought a smile to her face. Could these simple gatherings really bring people together? She imagined their clattering laughter filling the air, creating new memories rooted in their shared experiences. Once she finished her list, she hopped on her bike, headed to the town square. The morning air brushed against her skin, a crisp reminder of the world outside her thoughts. With every pedal, her excitement built. She wanted people to feel the way she felt last night, the joy of connection and belonging. As she arrived, the square bustled with energy. Vendors were setting up stands for the weekly farmers' market, their colorful displays bright against the backdrop of the old brick buildings. Lily took a deep breath and steered toward a familiar face: Mrs. Jenkins, an elderly woman who had lived in the neighborhood for years. "Good morning, Mrs. Jenkins," Lily called out, waving as she parked her bike. "Oh, my dear Lily," Mrs. Jenkins responded, her eyes sparkling behind her thick glasses. "What a lovely surprise. You look radiant today." Lily felt her face warm at the compliment. "Thank you. I'm working on something special. I want to help plan activities for our community to keep everyone together and engaged. Would you be interested in joining?" Mrs. Jenkins stepped closer, her voice turning serious. "Oh, Lily, you have a heart of gold. You know, that's just what this town needs. I often feel so lonely." I'd love to help out however I can. A wave of relief washed over Lily. And you could share your wonderful stories. People would love that. Just then, a loud crash echoed from the middle of the square. Lily turned, heart racing, as she spotted a young man struggling to gather scattered boxes from his stand. Instinct kicked in before she could think, and she rushed over to help. "Hey, I've got it," she said, kneeling down to assist him. "Thanks." "I didn't expect the wind to pick up like that," he chuckled, brushing his brow as he stood up. "I'm Jake, by the way." "I'm Lily." As their eyes met, something clicked. An unspoken connection sparked between them, a shared understanding that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. A smile broke across his face. "Lily, huh? You're the one who spoke at the fireworks last night. The way you inspired everyone, it's amazing." Her cheeks flushed again, this time from shyness. "I appreciate that. But I'm still figuring things out myself." As they spoke, Lily sensed the energy between them shift. Just then, Mrs. Jenkins waved over, beckoning Lily to return. "I can't wait to tell you more about the book club I want to start." When Lily turned back, Jake's expression held a mix of intrigue and encouragement. "Count me in. I'll bring my guitar for some musical nights too." Lily felt a rush of excitement. Just like that, a new connection was forming. Baby steps toward something meaningful. But as they laughed and planned, a nagging worry lingered. What if this excitement faded? What if, like the fireworks, their enthusiasm dimmed under the daily grind of life? As the conversation continued, she pushed away her doubt, focusing on the warmth of the moment. They were orchestrating something new, together. But deep down, she couldn't help but wonder, with new beginnings come new fears. Would they be strong enough to withstand the challenges ahead? That question hung in the air as they stepped into this uncharted journey together. Lily returned to Mrs. Jenkins, her heart still racing from the unexpected connection with Jake. She could see the older woman's enthusiasm as she waved her arms, clearly excited about the possibilities of starting a book club. "What do you think, dear?" Mrs. Jenkins asked, her eyes sparkling. "We could gather every 2 weeks, share our favorite books, and even invite a few more neighbors. I know Mrs. Thompson down the road loves mysteries." Lily nodded, her mind racing. "Yes. And maybe we can combine it with other events. A reading night followed by a dessert potluck." "Oh, I do love a good dessert," Mrs. Jenkins laughed, her laughter infectious. "Count me in for baking." As they discussed details, a part of Lily's mind still drifted to Jake. She couldn't remember feeling so drawn to someone so quickly. It sent tingles of both excitement and anxiety racing through her. Why did it feel so different this time? The morning slipped away, and soon vendors were waving their goods to passers-by, the square alive with voices and laughter. Lily looked around and felt a surge of gratitude. Community. It was happening. People were smiling, chatting, and preparing to start a new day together. Just as Mrs. Jenkins and Lily agreed on a starting date, Jake sauntered over, guitar slung across his back. "Hey, sorry to interrupt, but I couldn't help overhearing your book club plans." He chimed in, casting a bright grin their way. "Oh, Jake. We're planning to meet every 2 weeks. You should join us." Lily smiled, almost daring herself to hope his enthusiasm would match her own. "Count me in," he replied enthusiastically. "I think sharing music related to the books could be a fun twist." Music always tells a story, right? Lily's heart fluttered at the thought. This was shaping up to be more than just a book club. This was about building connections not only through shared interests but also through creativity. She could picture them all gathered, laughing, sharing ideas, and weaving music into the fabric of their stories. Suddenly, a commotion broke through the warm atmosphere. A loud shout echoed across the square, drawing their attention. A mother chased after her toddler, who had decided to bolt towards the fountain. The crowd parted as the little one giggled with glee, unaware of the concerned expressions around him. Lily's instincts kicked in, and without thinking, she dashed toward the child. Adrenaline surged through her as she reached the fountain just as the boy gathered speed, splashing into the shallow water. Unfazed, he laughed loudly, his joy bright amid the chaos. "Hey there, buddy. Let us get you out of the water, okay?" Lily said gently, scooping him up in her arms as he squealed with laughter. The crowd began to laugh too, seeing the playful exchange instead of fearing the worst. The mother finally caught up, her breath coming in heaves. "Thank you. I completely lost track of him. I'm so sorry." "It's okay," Lily said, setting the boy down carefully, his giggles still bubbling in the air. As she turned back, she found Jake smiling at her. "You really are a natural with kids," he remarked, admiration shining in his eyes. "And that takes guts." Lily shrugged but felt pride swell within her. She didn't just want to be brave. For the first time in her life she wanted to create an environment where courage could flourish in everyone, young and old alike. Just then, Mrs. Jenkins approached, her hand resting on Lily's shoulder. "You have a gift, my dear." Today was a beautiful reminder of how community can uplift us. It doesn't have to be grand, it just needs heart. Lily's heart swelled at the praise, but a familiar doubt crept in. Would this dream withstand the tests of reality? Would people really engage, or would it all fizzle out? "Let us make it happen," she said aloud, a new determination fueling her words. "I want to bring everyone together." With the excitement of burgeoning plans buzzing in the air, Lily caught Jake's gaze across the bustling market. She could feel a weight of expectation on her shoulders but also the thrill of new beginnings. She was ready for this journey, whatever it might bring. But as the market began to wind down and people started to head home, the unrelenting question remained in the back of her mind. What if their first gathering turned out to be nothing more than a fleeting moment like the fireworks that had sparked so brightly only to fade into darkness? That thought lingered as she pedaled home, heart racing with a mixture of anticipation and fear. What awaited them all as she stepped into this uncertain territory? The next morning dawned bright and clear, the sun spilling golden light across Lily's small kitchen as she poured herself a cup of coffee. The smell filled the space, a familiar comfort that grounded her as she reflected on the previous day's excitement. With every sip, however, a new layer of anxiety crept in. Was she really ready to take on this book club? She set her mug down and grabbed her notebook, flipping to a fresh page. Starting a book club didn't just mean gathering people, it also meant planning activities, selecting books, and managing group dynamics. Her thoughts spilled onto the page, meeting dates, books to suggest, and a list of snacks that could keep people engaged. A dessert potluck sounded so warm and inviting. But as she wrote, another thought invaded her mind. What if no one showed up? What if she poured her heart into this, only for it to end in awkward silence? The weight of self-doubt settled on her shoulders like a heavy cloak, nearly stifling the joy she felt earlier. Just then, a knock interrupted her spiraling thoughts. Startled, she opened the door to find Jake on her porch, an easy smile on his face. "Morning. I was hoping to catch you and chat about the book club details." Sure. "Come in," Lily replied, stepping aside to let him in. Her heart raced. Was he genuinely interested or just being polite? As they settled at her small dining table, Jake pulled out his guitar. "I thought I could play something for your inspiration," he said, strumming a few soft notes. The familiar sound washed over her, easing some of her jitters. "You play beautifully," she admitted, her cheeks warming. "Do you have a particular genre you prefer?" Jake thought for a moment. "I'd love to pick songs that resonate with the themes of the books we choose. It could create a whole new vibe in our discussions." His eyes sparkled with ideas, and it ignited a flame of creativity in Lily as she listened. Like pairing a mystery novel with a shadowy, haunting tune? She mused, surprised at how natural the conversation flowed. The lingering doubts began to retreat, replaced with the thrill of collaboration. Exactly. He exclaimed, leaning forward. I think using music will help everyone feel the stories on a deeper level. Just like you did with that kid yesterday, your instinct to dive in and help. Her heart soared at his praise, which reminded her of that moment of daring. I hope our gatherings can inspire that kind of courage in others, she said softly, contemplating what that meant. As the day unfolded, the two of them spent hours conversing about books, music, and their dreams for the community. Laughter danced between them, making the hours melt away almost effortlessly. The earlier fears began to transform into a sense of purpose and a growing connection. As the sun dipped low, a thought hit her, pressing on her mind like a stone. What if their bond was more than just plans for a book club? But eventually, the moment came when Jake looked serious, his guitar resting across his lap. Lily, I know this is all just starting, but I feel like there's something special about this. And about us. Lily's heart hammered in her chest. Did he really mean it the way she hoped? Before she could respond, his phone buzzed with a notification, breaking the moment. With a soft sigh, he glanced down, his expression shifting. I should probably take this. While he stepped aside to answer, Lily's heart felt heavy again, uncertainty creeping in. Did she dare to hope that this could be more? She stared out the window, lost in thought, staring at the sunset's beautiful hues and wondering just how bright the future could be. And as Jake returned, catching her gaze, a flicker of possibility ignited between them once more. But would that spark turn into more, or was it simply a fleeting moment like she feared? The question loomed large in her heart, compelling her to wonder just how much she was willing to risk for connection and courage. The next morning brought with it a blanket of hesitation. Lily woke up feeling both excited and nervous about the book club meeting she had scheduled for that evening. The plans she doodled in her notebook swirled around like autumn leaves caught in a gust. As she brewed her coffee, she replayed the previous day's conversations with Jake, the warmth of his encouragement making her heart flutter yet again. She glanced at the clock. Time seemed to crawl, each second amplifying her anxiety. What if her vision for the club didn't resonate? What if Jake's optimism didn't translate into excitement from everyone else? After a shower, she dressed hurriedly in a soft sweater and jeans, her usual choice, but she couldn't shake the thought that she needed something more. As she perused her closet, her fingers brushed over a yellow dress bright and cheerful, unlike the apprehension clouding her heart. Why not? She whispered to herself. Wearing it felt like donning a suit of armor against her self-doubt. She spent the rest of the day preparing snacks, cookie dough, brownies, and a fruit platter, hoping to create an inviting atmosphere. Each sprinkle of sugar and dash of salt infused her with a bit of courage, and soon the scents wafted through her kitchen. As evening approached, she tidied her apartment, setting chairs in a circle around her coffee table. Her heart raced as the clock neared the hour. She could feel her palms sweat as she glanced in the mirror. You can do this, she whispered, shaking out her hands. The doorbell chimed, sending a shiver of excitement through her. Lily opened the door to find not only Jake but also a small group of her friends. They arrived with smiles, bringing snacks of their own and a sprinkle of enthusiastic chatter that lit the room. Relief washed over her, easing the jagged edges of her anxiety. Everyone settled in, and Jake pulled out his guitar, strumming a light tune that created a cozy ambience. Laughter filled the air, mingling with the gentle notes, and for a moment, it felt like everything was right. People swapped stories about their favorite books, and the nervousness Lily had earlier melted away. As the discussions deepened, Lily felt the spark of community, a connection that transcended the words on the page. Jake caught her eye several times, their silent smiles exchanging a deeper understanding. It was as if the music had become a bridge, bringing everyone closer. But then, amid the laughter, she noticed one of the friends fidgeting, clearly not engaged, her eyes darting around the room. It gnawed at Lily. What if that moment of joy was fleeting for others? She decided to reach out. Is everyone okay? She asked gently. The friend looked down, her cheeks flushed. Honestly, I just feel so out of place and unsure. In that moment, the room went quiet. Instead of retreating, the others leaned in. Jake spoke up first. You're not alone in feeling that way, trust me. The connection they had built began to reinforce itself, and before long, the conversation shifted into something deeper. Stories flowed, revealing shared vulnerabilities. Lily sat back, her heart swelling, realizing the book club was transforming into more than just discussions about stories. It was a safe space for everyone to unfold their lives amidst the pages of their favorite books. As the evening wound down, Jake turned to Lily. This was incredible. I knew it would be, but you really brought everyone together. His words warmed her inside despite the underlying question that lingered. What if this space they created was changing them all in unforeseen ways? Feeling hopeful yet uncertain, Lily responded, I think this is just the beginning. And at that moment, as everyone shared one last laugh, her heart thudded with trepidation and excitement. She felt the spark ignite again. What if this journey brought more than just friendship, but also something deeper and more transformative? As the echo of laughter faded, she couldn't help but wonder just how far they were all willing to go in nurturing these new bonds. The next evening, the air crackled with infectious energy as Lily stood on her porch, anxiously counting down the minutes until the second book club meeting began. There were more snacks baked, more chairs set out, and a heart brimming with anticipation. After last week's success, she desperately wanted to replicate that magic. When the doorbell chimed, her heart raced. She opened the door to find Jake flashing a bright smile. Ready for round 2? He asked, guitar in hand. Lily grinned back, the flutter in her stomach easing a little. Absolutely. I hope everyone else is excited as we are. As the group arrived, their faces sparkled with excitement, balancing plates of cookies and even a colorful fruit tart. Neighbors who had once been strangers now buzzed with camaraderie. Mrs. Jenkins sat in her usual seat, a book's spine nestled under her arm, her excitement palpable. As they all settled in, Jake tuned his guitar, creating a cozy atmosphere that welcomed laughter. The discussion began to flow, and Lily felt a glow of joy envelop her as they all shared their thoughts on the book of the week, a mystery novel that had tangled them all into a web of intrigue. But there was a moment when the laughter dimmed as one member, Sarah, spoke. I've been feeling really lost lately. I don't know how to connect with anyone outside of this group. Lily's heart ached for Sarah. She remembered those feelings of isolation. You're not alone in that, Sarah. This group is about creating those connections, and we're all here together. As others chimed in, sharing their own struggles with loneliness, the room swelled with vulnerability, bridging gaps built from silence. Lily felt the warmth of their shared humanity wrap around her like a comforting blanket, and the thought hit her this wasn't merely about books. It was a sanctuary of mutual support, a well of strength. Maybe we can create smaller breakout groups, suggested Jake, his voice steady with encouragement. That way, more intimate conversations can occur. People nodded enthusiastically, and Lily's heart soared. They were building something invaluable community together. Just as the evening energy peaked, laughter resounded around the room, echoing their shared stories and their woven lives. After the meeting ended, as everyone stirred to leave, Lily felt a weight lift from her shoulders. The tangible bonds they had forged shimmered like stars. Just as she stepped down to lock the door, a soft thud startled her. Jake stood casually at the corner of the porch, guitar clutched in his hands. Can we talk? His tone was serious but warm. Lily nodded, her heart thumping louder than before. They stepped aside, his gaze steady on hers. Look, I've really enjoyed these meetings, but I sense you're holding back on something. She took a deep breath. I guess I worry about how far this can go. What if it all just fades? What if I can't keep inspiring these connections? Jake smiled softly, the glimmer of understanding dancing in his eyes. But Lily, look what you've already started. This isn't just a fleeting moment, you're sparking real conversations, real relationships. I'll always be here to support that. Emboldened, she added, and for all this to sustain, we'll need to keep the ideas fresh. Fun events, like outdoor movie nights or workshops. I want everyone to feel they're part of something amazing. Then let us make that happen, he said, the fire in his voice igniting her spirit. We can back it up with music, activities, it's limitless. And I'll be right at your side. As they spoke, the fading sunlight began to drizzle gentle shades of pink through the sky. The universe felt wide open with possibilities, igniting a spark of something between them. Then her gaze caught a flicker in his eyes, a hint of warmth, vulnerability, something unspoken but heavy in the air. Suddenly, the pressure weighed on her, and she dared to breathe out the truth that had nestled deep within her, asking her to be heard. What if we're more than just this project? What if we mean more to each other? He paused, and in that stillness, the world around them blurred, leaving just them, two souls entwined in the vastness of connection. I think we already do mean something to each other, he finally replied, his voice steady. It felt electric. A possibility bloomed. Just then, laughter rang from the other side of the porch, the sound pulling them back to reality. A commotion broke out. Mrs. Jenkins had discovered a local bookshop hosting an author's event and was rallying everyone to go together. Lily's heart warmed at the idea of a shared adventure blossoming from their connection. Looks like we already have our next event, Jake said with a grin, clearly buoyed by the energy around them. As the lingering dusk wrapped around them, Lily realized this was the heart of what she had wanted to create. Not just a gathering on weekly discussions, but a tapestry woven with humor, tears, and growth, a family expanding from strangers. In the days that followed, the book club evolved into something extraordinary. Event after event became filled with laughter, support, and a sense of purpose. Each book read ignited deeper conversations, revealing wounds and triumphs that bound them all. They rallied behind one another through every journey. The newfound connections morphed into friendships, each gathering blossoming into a cherished memory. Lily watched as Sarah, who had felt so lonely, began to flourish. She started sharing her artwork in the group. It was a revelation. One rainy afternoon, while organizing an arts and crafts booth for their next community fair, Lily felt an overwhelming warmth bubble up in her chest. The idea had come full circle. She had become the catalyst not only for connections but for healing. As she sat back, glancing around at her family of friends bustling with excitement, she realized that the question of what would become of them had transformed. It was no longer about what would change the group. It was about living boldly, leaning on each other through fears, evolving together. With Jake's hand lightly brushed against hers during the fair's final embrace, their eyes meeting amid the vibrant chaos, an unspoken promise hung between them. This was just the beginning. The essence of community filled their lives now, brimming with laughter, friendships, and endless possibilities. Together, they had created a transformative space stronger than she ever could have imagined. In that moment of realization, as laughter and love swirled like petals in the wind, Lily understood one clear truth: they were no longer mere strangers, they were family, bound by the beautiful mess of life, ready to take on whatever the world threw their way. And as the horizon blossomed with the promise of tomorrow, she smiled. They were a force of resilience, and nothing could dim the light they now shared. Now, before we wrap this up, I need you to take action. You need to subscribe immediately to this channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that will inspire and uplift you. Leave a like now to help feed the algorithm and get these heartwarming messages out into the world. Comment below with your reactions, your feelings about the ending, and what connection means to you. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation and realize the power of community. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share.